Our guest today is the Apis M1 XTerrain ST with 1500 watts of power. The website says it'll allow you to conquer any terrain. Well, today we're going to find out. Initial impressions are, I really like this bike. The silver frame, I think, looks really good. It is a step-through design. Based on the name, I suspect they intended to be used a lot for commuting, and the fact that it comes with this really fantastic rack on the back. It has an 1100 watt hub drive motor paired with a Shimano Tourney rear derailleur, and it has this nice little cage around the derailleur to protect it from getting hit. It has this nice higher spec fork on the front. We can lock it out or we can leave it open. I always leave them in the open position. Headlight, we can turn on and off. Really nice 26 by 4 inch tires. And these wheels are really kind of impressing me. They have these kind of like flutes and chamfers in the wheels, which I think it's gonna give it a lot more strength. These wheels, I like these wheels a lot. It's running cable disc brakes with 180 millimeter disc rotors, pretty standard fare. Battery sits on the underside. You can use the key to disconnect it, and there's this little quick release right here when it's unlocked and the battery will come out. It has a place for a rack on the front, and I think it's really cute. They put their little logo on the bracket right there. And then the handlebars use a really simple layout. This is a very different kind of style handlebar than we normally see, but just getting over here, it's a really comfortable ergonomically. It's really where your hands want to be. It's using the exact same shifter every other e-bike in the world seems to use. The power on and off button, you hold the power button to turn it on and off. Power mode's up and down. You have a headlight on and off, and a horn. We'll talk more about that in a minute. I like how they've labeled to us that this is the front brake. Here is the little cable that when we squeeze it, it disconnects power from the rear wheel. We'll talk more about that in a minute. The Apis, I think that's how you say it. I have no idea how else you would say it. Oh, I should mention it's a Samsung battery, and it's IP6 waterproof, so that's a pretty high waterproof rating. All right, enough looking at it. Let's take it for a ride. Lovely spring afternoon, a little bit of a breeze looking over the city. First thoughts, it's really, really stable. The cable brakes, I wish they were hydraulic. They could be a little bit stronger. The bike is a little on the heavy side. It's got a really long wheelbase, really strong frame. So the cable brakes, I can tell you right now, they're probably gonna be one of my bigger complaints. We'll see how it does as we head into some of the higher speed sections. Over the bridge, only in power mode 2, but let's switch it up to power mode 5 and see how fast it'll go on our high speed downhill test. Better shift into a higher gear. 34, 36, 37, 41. I saw 41 really quickly. So yeah, about 40 miles an hour on the downhill high-speed test. Through the S-curve, oh, the brakes could be stronger. Nice though, really stable through the S-curve. Yeah, it's got a higher end spec fork, and you can feel it. It's really nice and controlled through the S-curve. 28 miles an hour, I am pedaling. The seating position on this is really, it's really a comfortable place to pedal from. Up the steep hill, 20 miles an hour, I'm pedaling, I'm not pedaling hard. But yeah, staying over 20 miles an hour, you know, that's not quite 10 over the posted limit, but not bad. But nice and stable, really comfortable platform. The handlebars, kind of an unusual style handlebar. I think they're called buckhorn bars. They're quite comfortable, very ergonomic. Your hand's in a very natural position. The big, wide, flappy, comfortable grips, fantastic, love them. Oh, almost up to 30 miles an hour. Yeah, 28 miles an hour. Yeah, good, nice platform. Again, I really like how stable it is. 31. All right, now we're for our 11% grade uphill test. Up the hill. 20, 19. I should stop pedaling to give it a fair test. 18, 17, 16. That's 18 miles an hour. That seems to be about the speed most of these bikes go up this hill at. Boy, it's a nice afternoon. That's the joy of these e-bikes, to get you out of the house, going for a ride, watch a guy juggle in the park. Beautiful, beautiful afternoon. 25 miles an hour, and I'm just chatting with you. How great is that? Let's look at the cockpit really quickly. It's really pretty basic, and I love that about it. The power on button, that's all it does. Power mode up and down right here. We have a headlight and a horn. We're gonna walk in the oncoming lane of traffic because that's what we do. This is a loud horn, and we're gonna listen to it in the tunnel. This guy's gonna love us for that. Here we go. Yeah, that's nice and loud. Good loud horn. You know, a lot of the gauges on these e-bikes are full color and they do all these things, but my gosh, this one is easy to read. This is the easiest to read gauge. Bright sunlight, low light, doesn't matter. The gauge is really, for being simple, it's one of the best ones. I love that. Now, like all e-bikes, you have pedal assist, right? So if I pedal, it's gonna give me power, consume it with the power mode that I'm in. There's throttle only mode. Throttle's right here. I just twist it. Incidentally, this is my favorite style throttle. And we can go on power only mode. Should the battery die, it works just like a bicycle. You can just pedal it. And it has a shifter right here with a nice little needle that tells us what gear we're in. So 4th gear, 3rd gear, 2nd gear. Hit this little button and it'll go back into a higher gear. Pretty easy and straightforward. As soon as you squeeze the brakes, it disconnects power to the motor. So should you get scared or the throttle gets stuck, or maybe you panic and hold the throttle on, as soon as you touch the brakes, the throttle turns off, which is really a fantastic safety feature. I just love how these bikes, you know, you don't really want to ride in traffic or deal with that. If your town has these bike paths, what a great way to get around. So let's see how fast it'll go in each power mode. Each power mode typically tops out at a certain speed. So we're gonna slow way down. Let's see how fast it goes. Power mode 1, let's see. Power mode 1 will go 10 miles an hour. Power mode 2, we will go, it's like 14 miles an hour. Power mode 3, 18 miles an hour. Power mode 4 takes us to 22 miles an hour. Power mode 5, it's still going. It's 23.6 miles an hour in power mode 5. And I noticed while we were doing our little testing there that when you squeeze the brake, you get a little exclamation point on the gauge, which I suspect is telling you that it has disconnected power and that your brakes are on. So that's nice. Lovely day in the park. Not as many people out as I would have thought based on how many people have stepped right in front of us. And it, like I mentioned earlier, it has a higher spec fork. You can lock it out or you can leave it in full soft mode. I always leave these in full soft mode. Why have a fork if you're gonna lock it out? It does have the bigger 26-inch by 4-inch wide fat tires. I'm a fan of these things, even though they have a little higher rolling resistance, but when you have a motor, kind of who cares? But the other great thing about the bigger, chunkier tires, as we head into our single track test, is they're really a lot more stable when you are off the beaten path. So we have a fork, we have these nice big chunky tires, and as expected, nice and stable. The bike's planted, lots of grip. Very pleasant riding platform. Really, really nice. Yeah, really good. So nice I don't even want to get off the single track. Only in power mode 3. Let's go up to power mode 4, power mode 5. Woohoo, really fast. Probably too fast for a bike path. Yeah, the seating position on this thing is great. Really nice, really comfortable. Full fenders. Should there be rain, it's not gonna splash up on you. The silver frame, I think it's a very nice frame. It has this really interesting double top bar. And initially I was like, I don't know what I think about that. But, you know, putting it together and moving it, it's like a great handle that makes it a lot easier to lift the bike, move the bike, shift the bike around. You have a very ergonomic handle, making that task a little bit easier. So aesthetically, I didn't know how I feel about it. Practically, I think it's a great little feature. Heading into the park. All right, let's hit it back up to power mode 5 and see how it does on a couple laps around the park. Yeah, right away, we're up to 23.4 miles an hour. And yeah, it's doing great. I'm liking it. Really comfortable. I mean, I think that's kind of the term that's coming to mind the more I ride this is it's a really comfortable platform. The seats, the right size, the dimensions of it, the flat handlebar with the right angle on the wrists. Really, really comfortable. So yeah, pedaling along, having a chat with you, 23, 24 miles an hour, just humming along, getting places quickly. Yeah, a nice place to spend the afternoon. Best seat in the house. Looking at Mount Olympus up there, clouds clinging to the peaks. What's not to love about a moment like this? All right, down another hill through the nice sweeping bend. I have every confidence the bike's gonna be great through this. And indeed it is. Beautiful. Yeah, I think this is where this bike really shines. This bike likes to kind of go a little quicker. I think I've already mentioned it in this video, but I'm gonna mention it again. I really prefer these twist grip throttles. They're just so much more intuitive. Your hand's kind of in a natural place. A lot of them have those thumb rocker pedal panel things, and I just don't care for them. Your thumb gets really tired. The twist grip, I think, is better. Combined with these really nice, comfortable hand grips, again, comfortable. This bike is really a comfortable bike. It'll probably go faster, but it's also, some of these have so much power in them that as soon as you touch the throttle, they kind of rocket away from you. Oh, nice and stable. And this thing, the way it feeds power, the way it delivers power, it's unintimidating, it's comfortable, it's pleasant. It's kind of like Grandpa's Cadillac. I really like it. Long wheelbase, I think that makes it really comfortable. You know, a long wheelbase is nice because the time between the bumps is longer, so it gives it more of a plush ride, just like Grandpa's Cadillac. So maybe you haven't been super active and you want to get active again. Something like this is such a great way to start. And you know, I mention this in probably every video. Americans kind of messed up bicycles. You have to put on the uniform to ride a bicycle. You have to have your little spandex jammies and your special shoes and logos all over your shirt before you can go for a bike ride. Whatever happened to just getting on your bike and going for a ride? And I love that e-bikes are bringing that back. That I just want to go do a lap around the park on this gorgeous sunny spring morning. Winter's finally over. We can get outside again. Awesome. Into our more adventure portion of our test. Although I suspect this isn't this bike's forte, we're still gonna run it through its paces because that's fair. And we're all about fair here. Fair and impartial reviews. If you're enjoying this video, please click like and subscribe. Helps the channel grow, helps us get more bikes to review. You know, it did really fantastic through the grass. Oh man, the fork on this thing is really good. Yeah, it's doing so much better in the grass than I thought it would do. There I was saying that I didn't think this bike would do that great in the adventure portion. Here it is, already doing exceptionally well. We have our grassy knoll test. A test for any e-bike. Let's see how it'll do. If it'll make it. Oh, it's still doing it. 8, 7. Got a little reprieve here in the center. Oh, I think I have to give it some help. Couldn't quite make it up the grassy knoll. So yeah, maybe it wasn't the fastest one up the hill. Struggled a little bit, had to pedal to get it over the top. But I'm not gonna give that too hard I'm not gonna be too critical of it for that because that's not what this bike is for. So let's put the park in our rear view mirror, so to say, and head back up the hill. Yeah, it goes through there pretty well. I'm only like in power mode 1. Let's up the power modes a little bit. Power mode 3. How does that sound? And now we unfortunately are to the part of the video where we talk about what we don't like about the Apis. No product is perfect. Everything's gonna have a couple shortfalls, and what don't I like about this? Well, I can say with confidence, there's only one thing I don't like about it, and that's that it has cable brakes. I think for anything that's this heavy and this fast, I would much rather see hydraulic brakes. Now, to be fair and to give its, this thing is priced unbelievably competitively. And when you're gonna make a product that's priced unbelievably competitively, you're gonna have to make cuts somewhere. I think, they made a cut on the gauge, and in turn made a gauge that's one of the easiest in the world to see. They made cuts on the switchgear, but I think ultimately made the switchgear easier to operate. You have a higher spec fork, I think stronger wheels, pretty robust frame. So I think, you know, whatever the price difference is between the cable brakes and the hydraulic brakes, I think they should put the hydraulic brakes on it and just charge a little bit extra. In the scheme of things, depending on how you ride it, if you're a mellower rider, the cable brakes will probably be just fine. But, you know, I ride these things all the time, and so recognize that I'm jaded. Beyond that, any other criticisms I have of it, I really don't have any. It got a little, it has a scratch from shipping. It's not really the bike's fault. It was packaged really well, but anytime you ship something that's kind of heavy and big, the poor delivery guys, they struggle moving around, and it's got a little scratch on the frame. That makes me sad. Yeah, not much to really criticize it for. I think it's a solid bike. I really like how comfortable it is, and I really like how easy it is to operate. Full fenders, like it has all the things, right? Has what you really want. Nice big comfortable tires, good fork, comfortable, plenty of power, easy to operate. Yeah, it's a solid bike, especially when you take into consideration the price point. The price point on this thing is really, really competitive. And so I think when you start shopping around and looking at, you know, how much something costs versus what it gives you, it's going to be hard to overlook this bike. On the surface, it doesn't look quite as fancy. The build quality of it's really, really good. I don't think they scrimped on build quality. The paint's nice. The welds all look nice. The little extra handle thing on the frame, all really nice. So let's take this on the surface streets where I think this thing will spend a lot of its time and talk about who do I think this thing is for. Well, the marketing materials kind of lay it out for you. This is designed to be a commuter bike. And as a commuter bike, it excels. You know, we've been testing a lot of bikes this spring, especially that are really focused more on the recreational aspect of it. And that's great. You can ride bikes to have fun. This one's really focused on the utilitarian aspect of it. The fact that it comes with a nice big rack on the back, the super comfort, the step through, the longer wheelbase, the stability. This thing is really geared for, you know, someone who has been hit with a nice return to office mandate and now has to commute. You know, maybe your office is only 15 miles away, but it takes you 45 minutes to get there. Well, take a bicycle and use the bike paths. You'll get there probably in half the time. And you're not going to be using gas. You're not going to have to register. You don't have to license and insure it. Take it to work, lock it up. A lot of offices have bicycle parking down in the parking garage. I think that's what this bike is aimed for, is that person. Now, the benefit of that is all bicycles are fun to ride. They're all recreational. So with something like this, you commute on it on the way home. What a great way to unwind from the stress of the day. Plus, it's big enough. It has the carrying capacity. You can stop by the grocery store and pick up your loaf of eggs and gallon of bread. So like college student, definitely could use it for a college student, be fantastic. And I think like the ease of use and the simplicity of it, if you are maybe in the second or third chapter and you know, you're winding things down, you don't really want to deal with all the technical whiz-bangery, but you want to be able to pedal around with the grandkids or whatnot. This would be a great choice. It's fantastic. You know, you don't have to be super fit. You can ride around, keep up with the grandkids, go take them down to the park, you know, do the grandparent thing. And the step-through thing shouldn't discourage any men from getting this thing. And I greatly prefer them. They're so much easier to get on and off of. You don't need to climb over the top of the thing, especially when you're using it for more utilitarian purposes. So yeah, a lot to love about this bike. All the marketing materials did not tell me anything about what its range would be. So I'm gonna surmise, based on other bikes I've tested, I'll bet you this thing has a 40 to 50 mile range. I can't imagine you're gonna ride the thing for 50 miles and a go. I mean, I rarely ride a bike more than 50 miles and a go. Well, since we're talking about range too, the less power mode you use and the more you're willing to pedal, the further you're gonna go. And because these things all work just fine as an acoustic bicycle, you can turn the power all the way off and you can still ride it. It still works like a bicycle. Now I'm plodding up a fairly steep hill here, so I'm gonna give it some more gas, but yeah, it works as a purely analog bicycle. What are my final thoughts? I think they kind of hit the nail square on the head with this. And you know, if the only shortcoming is the cable hydraulic brakes, that's pretty minor in the scheme of things. The price on it is ultra competitive, especially right now. You know, Trump tariffs are coming. I would think if you're considering getting one of these, get it sooner than later before the tariffs like really bring the price up by maybe 100%. As of this taping, I'm not sure if I have a coupon code for you, but if I do, I'm gonna put it up here in the sky for you. Even without my coupon code though, the link I give you, it will be the best price available at the time. So if you wanna click on the link, learn more about it, I think you should consider the Apis. Thanks so much for riding with me today. We'll see you next time.